hard to escape our attention here. We'll start with the AAA guys, Zebby Matthews and Andrew Morris, and I'm bucketing them together a little bit. So we'll start with Zebby quick. We talked last week, or the last time we recorded, Jeremy, about like, do you read much into gains in velocity? And one of the kind of discussion points we had was let's wait a couple starts and see how this plays out in the regular season. Well, Zebby Matthews is through 3 starts now. He's striking out 36.4% of batters, walking just 3.6%, which is ridiculous. If we take a look at his start yesterday, check out his fastest pitch by inning. First inning, 95.9, taking it easy. Second inning, 98.1. Third inning, 97.6. Fourth inning, 97.9. Fifth inning, fastest pitch, 99.5 mile per hour fastball. Hard to not get pretty excited about this at this point. Wouldn't you say? Pretty much every pitch he has is at least 2 ticks up from 2024, and he's knocking pretty loudly on the door at the moment.
Yeah, and that's like when you see upticks in velocity, it might be like a first inning thing. To see it held on,
yes,
that's where things change. And it was interesting because he's walked guys, and so like at first I was like, man, he's walking people. But if you can get people to chase some stuff out of the zone, if you become more than just a guy that throws strikes, like that changes your whole kind of perception of what he is. Like now he's a power guy, so you could walk some guys, right? Yep. A little surprised that he didn't get the first crack because it lined up, but I think that, for better or worse, that's just what the Twins did.
What's your theory there? Because Festa has looked great in both of his first two starts with the Twins. Admittedly, like they've kept him pretty tightly on like you're not going through the order the first time, which I think is like to his benefit because he had one good start at AAA and one bad one. What's your best guess as to why Festa was the decision and keep Zebby in AAA for now?
I think just because Festa was better last year. Right, and just kind of was lined up first. Probably was clear. I would guess something like that was probably made clear to both of them coming out of the spring, and it did make sense to try to give guys an extra day off, and I don't have any. I mean, if that's how they're going to do it, I think at any time Matthews could come up and fill a role as well as other guys. But I do think that it was probably based on the entire body of work, and they didn't have to manipulate much to get Festa up, and it made sense. He did it longer for last year, and if we were drawing out that pecking order, I think it makes sense to have him at 6, and then to give him that first opportunity.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Morris for a second because I got to tell you, dude, I texted you in the middle of the day today and I was legit surprised to see this. Andrew Morris starting today against the Iowa Cubs. And also, to be clear, like he got hit pretty hard. That's a really tough lineup. You're talking about Owen Casey, Kevin Alcantara. I mean, just that lineup is absolutely stacked with guys. He hit 99.3 on his fastball twice today, surpassed 98 miles per hour on 5 additional pitches. That is an absolutely new gear from Morris. What are your thoughts there? Were you surprised to get that text? Because I was blown away when I saw that, honestly.
I was, but I like to poo-poo all of your excitement.
You do.
And my response was, dude, everybody throws 100. And so yeah, I was surprised, but at the same time, for the Twins to find extra velo guys, that's not surprising.
I agree,
right?
but
how do you use
agreed.
This velocity?
Agreed. I guess here's the specific thing I find surprising. I think it's now like the scope of the additional velo they're finding over time that I find surprising because we'll take Morris as an example. His last start, his top's fastball before today was 96.8. This is not a big frame dude. He's like 6 feet, I don't know, 190 pounds. Zebby is a little bit different because he's a larger dude I don't know, 6'4", 6'5", whatever. But we're now talking about two guys who have added like 7 ticks to their fastball since college, and I guess my expectation, and maybe you disagree, so just like correct me if you feel differently, but my thought process is always like, oh, the Twins can add velo. Maybe we're looking at like 2 to 4 miles per hour, but like 7 is across like multiple guys just seems a little outlandish, honestly.
So it's a thing they do, though.
It is the thing they do.
Right. And that's the thing. Like if they did it one time, it'd be like, wow, this is part luck, part what they do. But when they're doing it with everybody, except for the guy that I really thought they would just add a bunch of velo to, right? I mean, that is it a surprise anymore? Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's just what's expected. So it's more of a surprise when it's not happening,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it kind of weird.